Gosh, thank you guys so much for coming out. I'm tickled. Thank you so much for coming out for my first ever solo art show.
When's the next one?
I don't know.
Is this one not good enough for you? What?
For those of you who don't know me, my name's Kim Detmer, and this is all my art. And I just really appreciate you guys coming. I want to do a little short talk and let you guys know a little bit about my art, a little bit about how I got here, and a little bit about the 1 a week art challenge that I did and is a result of this show today. So let me tell you how I got here. So I have 2 boys. They're around here. Alex.
Oh, you mean the little slaves that are?
Yes, those 2. So Alex and Owen, and Alex was born in late 2004, and Owen was born in early 2006. And I quit my job, my career, and I stayed home with the boys. And as any of you know who have kids or have seen kids, little ones, you know that as a stay-at-home mom, I was in the trenches. You're dealing with snot and diapers and tantrums and some good stuff too. But it was kind of just overwhelming. And I found when they started going to preschool, I found I had a smidgen of time for myself. And I realized that I didn't know who I was anymore. I didn't have the job that I had before, and the career and that identity. And so I went on kind of a journey to find myself and search. And I tried to do new things that I thought I would like. So I did jewelry making, and I took a ceramics class, and I wrote a blog because I thought I would want to be a writer, and I did some other writing, and I did a triathlon. I didn't do any more of those. And, I scrapbooked, and I did some other things. And so what I found was when I was creative, I was a happier person. And my husband noticed it, that I was happier, which was probably a good thing. And my kids, I was probably a better mom when I was creative. So I decided to sign up for an illustration class with the focus of illustrating a book that I had written. And so I took this illustration class every Wednesday night, and I illustrated the book. And what I found was after this was published, I kept going to the illustration class because I really loved the art. And so I kept creating art and exploring art, and I kept going. And so that kind of kept me happy. But as life happens, as you all know, the illustration class got canceled, the boys got busy, I had a part-time job, and that seemed to fall off my priorities of taking the time to be creative. And so I wasn't as happy as I was. And so at the end of 2017, I said to myself, I said, in an effort to continue to practice the creativity, I would do a piece a week. And so I decided to create a piece a week, and that's all the pieces that are on the wall here. And I did it for a couple of reasons. The one reason was that I wanted to get better. Improve my arting skills. That's what I wanted to say. And also have a bigger body of work. And I also thought that if I continued to do the artwork, that I would get faster at it. I don't think that really happened, but that's what I thought would happen. But mostly I really wanted to have that be grounded in creating and make my happiness a priority. And as you all know, it's sometimes making yourself a priority is a hard thing to do. But that was why I decided to do this 1 a week. And I have to say there were some lessons that I learned through this process, and I have 3 quick lessons that I learned. And the first one is about persistence. I used to tell myself all the time that I was not a good finisher, that I was a great starter, and when things got hard or they weren't fun anymore, usually because they were hard, that I would quit. And so when I committed to doing this, I told myself that I was going to do it for the whole year. And I have to tell you that every single piece up on this wall and every single piece that I've ever done, there's a point in time when that piece is awful, and I hate it. And I want to crumple it up and throw it in the trash can, and I want to give up. And what I found is that if I got past that time of suck, when it just sucked, that I could work through it, and that I usually found something that was better. And I think it's true with everything in life. Everything that we do, even the stuff that we love, there's stuff that times when it sucks. And what I found that is if you allow the suck to just be there and not dramatize the suck, then the suck is less suckier. And so that was a huge lesson to me, to just keep pushing past. And
Can we quote you on that?
yes, exactly. Yes, absolutely. I have it written down here somewhere.
Good. Okay.
And I will say, throughout the year, I sent out save the date cards really, really early. And part of the reason why I sent those save the date cards out for this event tonight, like way early, was because I really wanted to quit because it was getting hard. But I knew if I, not only had myself to be accountable for, but to other people, that I would continue on. So that's what I learned about persistence. Another lesson that I learned was about happiness, and that happiness is a choice. And I knew that. And you'll see, choose to be happy. And there's another one over there that says choose happy. And I knew that happiness was a choice. But what I don't think I realized until this year was that happiness is also a practice. And to be honest, 2018 was kind of a hard year. I mean, the political culture that we're in right now, the divisiveness, all the hard things that we as a country are grappling with, like school shootings and the Me Too movement, those are hard things. And people get angry and they get fearful. And there's negativity swirling all around us all the time. And personally, there were some things that happened where I really felt like some people had lied to me, and people that I trusted, I lost faith in. And so I think there were points and times throughout the year that I was really questioning humanity. I always want to believe that people are doing the best they can. And I really started to question that. And so that was really hard for me. But I know that because every week I had to sit down and do something, because my mission for my artwork is creating a piece of happy, creating a little bit of happy one piece at a time. And so I had to see the good in the world to have the energy to create a happy piece. And so I know that if I didn't have to sit down and see the good to be inspired to create, that I think the year would have been much more draining on me and much more negative. And so for me,
much more suckier.
Yes, absolutely. And so just practicing finding the good and the happy. And that's why my permission to wear rose-colored glasses is one of my favorite pieces, because sometimes you just have to put on the happy glasses, the rose-colored glasses, and ignore all the other stuff out there. So that was the other thing about happiness being a practice. And then the last thing is about control being overrated. And I can tell you, this piece taught me that. This is, he's over on the yellow wall over there. And this is this little scuba guy. And like with most of my pieces, I usually have an idea of what I'm going to do before I start. And this piece was going to be cute little cone daisy flowers. And so I started to create it, and I do the backgrounds first, and I painted the background. And when I did the background, I noticed that kind of looks like water, but sky looks like water, and the daisies will be with the sky background, so we're good. And I posted a picture of the background on my Facebook page and said, here's the next piece I'm working on. And comments kept coming in about how it reminded them of an ocean, or this is a great water piece, or they can't wait to see the beach scene. And I really was like, no, I am doing flowers. This is a flower piece. I can even show you the stinking flowers. I stuck to my guns. See cute, fun little cone daisies that are they're almost like dead, I don't know what. And I created, this is just some of them. I have plenty more at home. And so I sat there, I stuck my guns, and I was creating these flowers, and I laid them out on the piece, and it was not working. No matter how many flowers, no matter how many different ways, It wasn't working. And in the back of my head, I kept seeing the water. And finally, I just had to let go of the control. And I had to just let the piece kind of create itself through me and just let it be and let go of the piece. And so it's amazing. I told somebody earlier, they said, did you meet your challenge? And I said, yes, but I have to confess, there was 1 week that I didn't get it done until the Monday of the next week, and that was this piece. and so once I changed to do the water and to create it, it started to come together and just feel right. And so just the letting go of control, every single piece up here, every single piece that I've ever created the end result is not what I envisioned it at the beginning. And so much of that is about letting go of the control and letting it happen. So those are my 3 lessons. Thank you so much for listening. I have a couple. First, I want to thank you so much for being here. I am honestly just overwhelmed, and thank you. I also want to give a big shout out and thank you to my husband and the boys. They had to live with me. And they have been so supportive and so great, and yes, I have put them to work, and I'm not ashamed of that.
Those are life lessons.
Yes, absolutely. And I also want to thank, there's so many people that helped me put this night together, and so many people that have supported me along the way, and thank you. I'm just so touched. So thank you so much. I will do some question and answers at the end, but I know not everybody will have questions, so let me just go over a couple things so you're aware of it. I want you, so the originals are all hanging around. Take some time to look at some of the details. Some things that you'll notice is if you look close, there's hidden messages in there. Like for instance, this little piece there, one of the pots that the plant is in, it's from a dictionary page, and it's the page that says joy. And I really tried to put in little hidden messages in many of the pieces that you'll see. Also, people ask me all the time, do you cut that all out? And yes, I cut it all out. Every single piece I've cut out, the lettering I've cut out, the little flowers. I love crickets, but I did not use any. I don't even own a cricket, but I use people who have crickets to do other things, but not this artwork. This is all hand cut. So just check those out. Also, up at the front, at the green dresser up there, there's a piece called Shoot for the Moon. And it is a piece that I created for the Education Foundation. And Susan Hans here, who is the president of the foundation. It's a nonprofit that supports the local school district. You get to write in how much you would bid, how much you would pay for that piece, and put it in the jar. Nobody knows what you would pay, and then somebody else, whoever has the highest bid on that piece, will win that piece, and that entire amount will go to the Education Foundation, because it's a good thing to support the kids here in the district. So that's Shoot for the Moon up there. If you haven't already, back behind Julie wave, back behind you, there's a piece, sign in, there's a piece that, an original piece that I'm giving away tonight. If you put your name in the drawing, make sure you do that. Every single piece here up on the wall, I have prints, at least one print of all the pieces, so those are up here. The stuff on the wall is for sale. The stuff down here is for sale. And there's plenty of food and drink, and, I hope there's plenty of food and drink. I'm a little overwhelmed by that, but just enjoy yourself. And if anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer up here. And enjoy. Thank you. Perfect. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, my Did I talk to you? No, you were like,